Hey everybody out in cello land. I wanted to talk to you today about harmonics. There's a lot of confusion about how to play harmonics and what notes are natural harmonics and which ones are false harmonics or artificial harmonics, whatever. So I wanted to give you a really quick overview of harmonics and how to play them. First things first, harmonics are actually places that you will just touch on the string. So they're actually nodes on the string that are based on fractions of the vibrating part of the string. So let's get into more detail. This is the whole vibrating part of the string, and if you cut that in half visually and touch the string at that node, it will play an octave above the string you're on. So then if we split the string into thirds, and if we touch the string either here or here, we would play an octave and a fifth above the string we're on. So if we're on the A string, we would be able to play a high E. If we then envision cutting the string into fourths, that would give us an even higher pitch of 2 octaves above the string. I could keep going and going, but blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna summarize this at the end, and it's gonna make more sense to you. And for now, let's just move on to specifics. There are 3 rules for playing harmonics well. Rule number 1, don't press, only touch the string. Rule number 2, you're only going to have one finger on a string at a time. And rule number 3 is bow very close to the bridge with a fast bow. I know a lot of people feel like harmonics have to be very soft. It's not true. Harmonics can be super, super loud. That being said, harmonics can be very tricky to play. If I take this passage, the second note doesn't sound very clear when I'm playing it. And instead of a normal note giving you feedback that it's sharp or flat, harmonics will not give you that type of feedback. They just won't work. And then you're left to figure out, am I too high or too low on the string? So you really have to work to figure out where the best pool of sound can be found on the string for your harmonics. Harmonics don't exist on just one tiny spot on the string. There's up to like an inch of motion that you can move in on the cello and still achieve the harmonic. But the thing is, you want to find the best spot, the most clear tone spot. I think it's right there. And then I just kind of train the harmonic and then work from the previous one to that one to see if I can consistently get them to work. Otherwise, you know, you're just left with a note. You're not sure what's wrong with it. It's just not working well. Meanwhile, members of your family are probably cringing and holding their ears and wishing that you never, ever decided to play the cello. Diamonds are your best friend. The diamond-shaped notes will tell you exactly where to place your fingers on the fingerboard of the cello, so you almost don't even have to think. It just depends on the editor, but sometimes you'll have diamond-shaped notes that look like this, where you can tell what the rhythm is from the heads of the notes. Other times you'll find diamond-shaped notes that look like these, that have secondary rhythmic notes underneath them. You'll still put your fingers on the places that the diamonds indicate, but you'll execute them with the rhythm of the notes written below. And most of the time, the notes that are written below are actually indicating what string you'll be playing the harmonics on. A lot of people think that maybe those are false harmonics, but if you see that it's an open string beneath the note that is the diamond shape, it is not a false harmonic. It's just a natural harmonic, and they just didn't have a way to show you the rhythm of the harmonic notes. Then, if you don't see a diamond shape and it's just a regular note with an O above it, That's where you have to start experimenting and figuring out where the harmonics are. Besides O's above notes, you might see ones like these that have 3s and O's. You might also see just what looks like a 0 above a note, or a 3-0. That will also indicate that it's supposed to be a harmonic. And usually you're gonna have to develop a little bit of a feel for the harmonics on your cello. The most common one that you're gonna see is the half string harmonic. It'll play an octave above. Please don't ever play like this at home, you guys. But it'll play an octave above the string that you're on. As I mentioned before, besides the half string harmonic, there are harmonics at the 3rd of the string, at a 4th of the string, at a 5th of the string, a 6th of the string, etc. But since that can get really overwhelming, all you need to know is this. On the A string, you can play high A's, high E's, and high C sharps. On the D string, you can play high D's, high A's, and high F sharps. And on the G string, you're getting the pattern, aren't you? You can play high G's, high D's, and high B's. On the C string, you've got C's, G's, and E's. So if we encountered a passage like this, we would pretty easily be able to see that, oh, this note, I can play it on the A string. This one, I can play on the D string. This one, I can play on the G string. And that one's on the C string. Here's just a more detailed look at what notes you can get on the different strings. So if we had the example to the right, you can see that you would play that on the D string because those notes are both present on the D string. Keep in mind, these sets of notes are not complete. These are just the main notes that you can find on each string. What happens if you see a long string of harmonics like this that don't look like they belong on any open string? Well, you can probably bet that these are false harmonics or artificial harmonics. Artificial or false harmonics, as they're also known, are usually created by pressing the string with a finger and then touching a 4th above that finger with one of the other fingers. So if I wanted to play that high B flat that was written, I would press a B flat on the A string, touch a 4th above that with my 4th finger on the E flat, like where an E flat would be. What's being played is this B flat 2 octaves above. Most of the time, cellists will play with their thumb on the note that's pressing the string and their 3rd finger touching the 4th above that. Because your thumb will be playing the bottom note, so thumb is on this B flat, and then your 3rd finger is touching the node on that E flat, a 4th above. Usually the thumb is across 2 strings, so we can use that to our advantage and have our thumb on the D string as well, playing the low E flat. That makes these harmonics very easy to practice because we can turn them into just simple octaves. So this whole passage can just become octaves if we practice our thumb on the D string and our 3rd finger as a solid note on the A string. That way our fingers can learn the distances that they have to learn, and each false harmonic that's very squirrely and hard to figure out would become just a simple octave that we can practice and listen to and make sure that we have the distances correct. This makes it so much easier to learn. Now, bonus points for anyone who can tell me how to play the note right before this passage. Just use my contact form at nancello.com or comment below to let me know. So I hope this clarified harmonics for you and that you feel more adventurous when it comes to playing them. So good luck.